What's going on, YouTube? Zero Elite here, and I'm back again with a new video, episode 56 of the Disco Era u.s.s Enterprise tutorial. I just want to thank you very much for tuning into today's video, and if you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me in supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. And today we got a couple of things to work on. We're actually going to be focusing our efforts on our sick bay today, and you can see I've got a couple of screenshots that we're going to check out real quick. See, we've got the medical bay from Discovery that we're going to kind of use as a reference, basically the blue line going down the sides. And then we're also going to be using the Enterprise A sick bay, just kind of like as a loose reference. But the reason I'm not focusing too much time on the screenshots is because mostly we're going to be winging this, because I actually had a little bit of a problem with the sick bay, but I get through it, and it's just going to take just a little bit of a process. We're going to spend maybe 3 to 4 episodes on the sick bay. To start off, firstly, what we're going to do is we're going to start to round out our walls, and we're just going to work with what we currently have. So we're on the other side of our inner circle corridor, so we're just going to add a white strip of concrete going along the red, and we're essentially just going to build up with the cuts, so this way we can try to simulate kind of like a circular room. This is also going to give us an idea of how much room exactly we have to work with. Once we get this filled in, then we're going to put down a couple of walls to get an idea of where the medical bay's office is going to go. And yeah, I mean, we're just going to hop right into it. Not a super long video today, only about 13 minutes or so, but we still have some things to do. So I'm just going to bang this out real quick, and now we're going to go up a row. You can see, again, I'm just going along with a cut. Now, eventually, what we are going to do, what I can tell you, is that this room is not going to stay perfectly circular. The screenshot that you see on this video is what the medical bay actually looks like, the finished one. But like I was telling you guys in the beginning of the episode, when I first started building this, coming up with an exact design that I was happy with eluded me just a little bit. Basically, what was happening is that the medical bay from Discovery, and then the medical bay from the Shatner movies, what I used, they're the bay slots, well, the medical beds, I should say, the way they have them is that they're essentially just free sitting there, and when you place a bed down, it looks pretty plain and tacky, like when you line them up, and like you guys will see what I mean, like when we get there in the next episode or two. But ultimately, what we're going to end up doing is flattening the walls out a little bit to make this room just slightly more of a box. It's going to work better in our favor. But right now, I really want to just get through this episode and prepping this out so that we can get to that point, because I don't want to skip any steps. So this way, if people are following along with me building exactly what I'm building, you're not going to get lost when we make that transition to edit this. We're kind of doing the same thing for parts of engineering. And I mean, it's not something that I like to do, but at the same time, well, I mean, it's not something I want to do for a tutorial, let me put it that way. But at the end of the day, sometimes when you're building these ships, you're just not going to have a set blueprint for what it's going to be, and it's just going to take a little bit of finagling. You know, and I'm sure that you guys have, you know, figured that out as we've been building, that there are certain parts that's usually pretty cut and dry. Sometimes it takes a little bit of work, and that's, you know, unfortunately just kind of how it is. But I think what I ultimately come up with works really, really well, and it helps to convey that retro feel that I'm really trying to go for here. And I've actually been getting a lot of comments lately on stuff that you guys want to see me do on this interior, which is awesome. I really appreciate those comments. I've had a couple of people suggest doing a brig, which I'm going to do. And I've also had somebody mention as well as doing the mess hall. So that's going to happen also. Going down the checklist of stuff that I haven't done just yet, that I still plan to do is admiral's quarters, captain's quarters, junior officer's quarters, and then general crew quarters. General crew quarters will be a lot of fun because, I mean, even on this enterprise, the general crew, not everybody has their own uh, quarters. It's just not realistic. So the general area is kind of, more of like set up like an aircraft carrier. So it'll be interesting how we're able to do that. But still, we got a lot of stuff to cover, and if there's any other stuff that you guys would like to see me do, drop a comment below. Definitely interested to see what you guys would like, and at the end of the day, if it does stretch out this tutorial a little bit, I'm not too concerned with it. At the end of the day, my main goal here, before I move on to the next ship, is to get this enterprise as complete as I possibly can without having multiple empty rooms. Because that's one of my things when I was first started building every on PC, every enterprise that I downloaded and looked at, the either the ships were empty on the inside or they had rooms but they were just empty rooms and they didn't really take any time to do anything with them. So that's kind of like what we're trying to go do the opposite of here, and I'm trying to make this as close to what it should be as possible while also working with the space that we have to work with here. Now, I want to hop back in briefly what I got going on here. You can see that I'm just putting down a couple of walls here, trying to get a pattern, but we're going to be changing this a couple of times. Again, at this point, I'm just kind of flirting with the idea of how much room I have to work with here. And sometimes the best thing to do is just to put something down, see what it looks like, and then back away and look at it. Um, Even if this isn't exactly something that you're going to commit to, you can still get a good sense of how much room you're going to be have to working with. You can see I'm still trying to keep the circular pattern going, but again, in the next couple of episodes, when we really start to put a lot of detail into this room, this is going to become a little bit more boxy. Because basically what I did, and you can see it from the screenshot, is that I basically made a long shelf, I guess you could say, where I have several of the beds in place, and there's like 4 or 5 of them going along the walls and whatnot, and it really it feels natural. It feels like that was honestly like the only thing I probably could have done with this room. But I mean, I think that's up for debate because again, there's 1,001 ways to do stuff on here, but that's the only thing I could think of. So um, hopefully you guys enjoy what I was able to come up with, but we still have a little bit of work to do before we get there. See, right now I'm just building a layer behind my white half slabs because I'm going to go back and delete the white slabs or excuse me, the white foundations in front of it because it's a little bit too wide here. Um, we want enough room to be able to basically walk around freely, and then also we have to not only that, there's all the beds that we have to put in as well. So we're gonna have to make some adjustments here, but we'll get there. Now we're gonna get rid of this outer row. And still, not a super, and now you guys can get a better idea of what I was saying about like the size of this room. It's not a super big area, but if we do it right, it's more than enough for what for what we're gonna do. And again, you never know. Somebody might watch this video and see, the circular um, medical bay as it is now and say, you know what, that's a little bit closer to what it was in the movies. I want to do that instead of what you did. And that's, again, another reason why I want to show this too, is it gives you a little bit of variety too. But also the main reason is, again, because I don't want to skip anything. All right, now we're just starting to build our walls up a little bit here. I know this is something I'm not going to commit to, but that's okay. It's not a huge amount of space right here, so we can sacrifice putting stuff up to get an idea of what we're ultimately going to do, and then we'll, make changes. Let's get rid of these pillars right here. Okay, not a bad amount of space here. We still got to fill in the roof as well. Let's get rid of that pillar. I'm going to go back and pull up some screenshots here. And this was the main one that I was trying to convey, and you can see where I added that blue line, what we were just doing a few moments ago. This is where I got it from, because it just it felt like this was the best way to go with it, to try to bring a little bit of the disco era medical bay into it, especially since we have technically haven't seen what the medical bay is going to look like on this new Enterprise. And my stream wigged out there for just a second. I'm sorry about that. All right, and we're going to continue our blue pattern going along our doorway here. Bring that back at one, actually. Build that right into the wall. So I'm going to go all the way around, and I'm going to take out this middle block, and then we're going to go and do a second pass on this and add in the blue to give it a nice highlight. Move this back just a little bit. And I'm going to switch out these darker blocks that we had put down when we were moving the wall back a little bit. Okay. And now we're going to do another pass, and we're going to add our blue line. And after that, I think that's going to wrap this one up. Not a super long video today, but nonetheless, still a very important step for what we're going to be doing. Sometimes prep work is the most important part of your build. And yeah, we've got a decent amount of space here. We're going to have to shave off some of these walls here for the outer area, but we also have to take into consideration we've got a corridor on the other side, so we can't shave off any of that. But we'll get there. We've got a good base to go off of here. And in the next couple of episodes, we're really going to flesh this out and make this area come to life. But I think that's going to wrap it up for episode 56. I just want to thank you again for tuning into today's episode. And if you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me and supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. And every like and subscription really does matter, and it means a lot to me that you guys are taking the time to watch my videos. So thank you again for that. And one thing I do want to talk about briefly is I've been talking about in the last couple of episodes that I was going to be altering my schedule a little bit. I promise this is the last tweak I'm going to make, but I think that this is going to be perfect for what because my schedule has essentially been this anyway. So as of next week, Minecraft videos are going to be shifting Tuesdays through Fridays. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday will be Minecraft videos. So you guys can catch episode 57 of the Disco Era Enterprise tutorial on Tuesday, and Mondays is going to be reserved for my Starship Evo builds. Please definitely check out my YouTube channel this coming Monday for episode 3 of my Starship Evo builds. I've got some really cool stuff for you guys coming up, and if you are currently following me on Steam, be sure to check out my builds, because I've got some stuff that I've been working on in there, and give you an idea of the videos that are coming. I've got a couple of things. Anyway, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me. Just want to thank you again, and I hope everybody has a happy and safe weekend, and I will catch you guys on the next video.